The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Much like the cicadas, Sum 41 is going to go away for 17 years and then come back. As they've said that this is the last tour of the album, but it's lasting for like 2 or 3 years. They'll go away.
The cicada said that?
No, I think Sum 41. Derek Whibley said that from Sum 41.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we talked yesterday on the show with Kenzie about how she's probably going to experience this more than me and Case in the city out in Elgin, and they're going to kind of have an orgy on her porch. And the way to stop that, at least they want to go on your trees and bang. That's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize they wanted privacy.
Well,
I mean, don't you?
Yeah, but the cicadas they're different. This is a group orgy. Who wants privacy during a group orgy?
It's a good question.
Maybe they only want the people that they trust of the cicadas that are having sex with, like, let's say it's 20 of them.
Mm-hmm. They broke off into cliques last year.
Yeah, they know like Marty's going to go out and tell everybody, Now you could put
Marty's a dirty bird.
Yeah, you could put foil on the bottom of your trees. It will stop. They slip and they can't climb up your tree, so they'll move into the neighbor's yard and keep going.
Don't they fly?
It's weird. They do have some wings, but I don't think they can fly a long distance.
So they're walking all the way here?
Well, they're coming out of the ground.
Like my ground?
Yeah, they're under your ground right now.
I thought they were all coming from a specific area.
What, like south of the border?
Yeah, like I thought that they were like the cicadas are going to rise up. And then so I was like, well, what's the tinfoil for?
Yeah, they're literally under your house right now and under your yard. They were there before you bought the house.
We had a lot of landscaping done. Are you sure they're still there?
They're deeper than that.
Oh, they're deeper than like landscaping?
Yeah.
Like if I planted a bush, they're lower than that?
Yeah, they're lower than the bush.
So once again, no wings. They're just going to crawl out?
They're going to crawl out, have sex, and die. And lay an egg and then die.
How long are they going to crawl for?
If
they're that deep, they're probably crawling right now.
It says 17 years, and they're supposed to come out probably April, May, June-ish time. There's not an exact date, but once they start coming, it's not going to stop.
But how do they get that far into the ground?
That's
They
a good
don't
question.
have claws.
They do look like little dinosaurs. They look weird.
Yeah.
They do have like weird spikes.
But like think about how sometimes I can't get my shovel into the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How I don't understand.
You don't understand how well, listen, I think they're more adapted to being underground than you are. No offense.
Not under the ground, but just digging in it. Have you ever dug a hole? It is really hard.
Oh, it sucks. I worked at a golf course where I had to dig holes all the time.
Yeah, it's hard. And you're telling me this little bug? They probably spent 17 years just getting to where they're supposed to go.
Yeah. I took
we got to turn around?
I took breaks at the golf course on one hole.
I have a question. Why were you digging holes at the golf course? Wouldn't you want to fill them in?
No, because you have to fill holes for like sand traps or something. You have to make a new
Those
sand
are
trap.
man-made?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not natural.
I never
Natural
thought about
sand
that.
traps?
I've never thought about that.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Huh.
So, Kenzie also brought up how they have this sexually transmitted disease that's going to kill about 1 billion of them, where their private parts fall off, and then they walk around like zombies and are even harder to kill.
How did they even get a sexually transmitted disease if they've been on the ground for 17 years?
Very good question. I guess they come
And
up.
if you pop out early,
Well-
for a late night, they're troublemaking cicadas.
Well, if they go out and have sex, and before they die, they have sex with somebody else, and they have the disease, then they pass it on, and then so on and so on.
So if they have sex once, it doesn't make them die.
Correct. There's a time limit, then they die.
Oh, so wow, there's going to be a lot of action going on. I thought they banged once and died.
No, I mean, that's typically what they will just from the time frame, but if they happen to be prolific, then they will spread this disease, the sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah, it's sort of like the 2-minute drill in football. They're not cuddling afterwards. They're going from one to the next. It's a no-huddle offense with the cicadas.
Yeah.
Oh, God. They really are just like teenagers. Like this, they waited 17 years. They're horny. There's no technique. It's horrible.
Yeah. It's going to be a disappointment for a lot of female cicadas out there, that's for sure.
I know. She's like, I waited 17 years for what? I'm like, amen, girl.
Let me ask you something else, Kenzie, because you have a garden. This was another side question in our conversation. When's the last time you saw a caterpillar?
Last time I saw a caterpillar?
Because you're out rural in Elgin, and I
I
figured,
would assume last spring has been a recent activity.
But you can't remember, can you? You can't remember seeing one really, can you?
I mean, Brian, when's the last time you saw an ant?
Oh, I saw one the other day.
Did you timestamp that?
Yeah, I did. I saw one.
I'm like, oh, well, this can't be something I forget.
Oh, no, I see ants and rats when I go out in the backyard.
No, give me a date.
I just want to. Can you actually remember seeing a caterpillar?
I know I've seen them.
It just feels like they're not around anymore, and they're going to eat a lot of the cicadas.
Do you by chance have a lot of butterflies near you?
I've seen a butterfly recently.
Okay, well, he was a caterpillar.
Yeah. That's right. But I mean, I want to see him in the caterpillar
That's
form.
right.
Yeah, I know. I forgot
I
about
know.
that. The butterfly.
It's a tough one.
It's a rub, the butterfly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's not a lot of caterpillars anymore.
I'm with you, Brian.
I
I don't think they're out there.
I think they're
You
gone.
don't think they're out there? There's tons of kinds of caterpillars.
Like what?
They got the really fuzzy one. That's what I like. And then the long green one, which is a classic with the red head.
Yeah.
Like on the cover of the book, The Hungry
Yes,
Caterpillar?
that one's the OG caterpillar, if you will. I'm more of a fan of thick and fuzzy.
Do they have, so there's thick and fuzzy, do they have naked caterpillars, like a naked mole rat?
I think the green ones are naked. I don't think that's fur.
You're probably right.
Well, yeah,
Probably
they
right.
have
I think that's skin.
Yeah, that light
Or if you
hair
will.
they
It's probably
have.
not skin,
Yeah.
but like their skin.
Yeah. Well, it's all coming. They're coming, literally. The caterpillars and the
Oh,
cicadas.
God. That's disgusting.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And, maybe you only listen this hour of the show and you don't even know what Clash with Kenzie is. So we've moved it to this hour just for the next couple weeks to just mix it up a little bit, have a little fun because we have the 21 Pilots tickets coming up in that time slot at 7:20. We'll do that tomorrow again. Now we got Bonnaroo tickets for Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival, which happens June 13th through the June 16th. And you get a camping pass, too, which is a big deal for Bonnaroo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got Red Hot Chili Peppers, Cage the Elephant, Interpol, Taking Back Sunday, Milky Chance, and another 100 bands, all from our great friends at Bonnaroo. And Brian and Kenzie here on Q101. So call now. You compete against Kenzie in a trivia contest. And then if you win, you get him. If not, we do call God Bless the Baby and somebody else gets him. Everybody's got a chance to get him.
It's general trivia. It's things you should know. It's topics you know. But anything is fair game. Everything is on the table.
312-591-8300. Call now to compete in trivia against Kenzie. A lot of people still thinking about cicadas. Frank checked in and said, Brian gonna get jumped by a zombie cicada if he whips it out.
There's a real possibility of that.
Yeah, it's very, very possible. Also, a lot of Forest Preserve people checking in. We were curious about that career. I've looked it up. Cook County, the average Forest Preserve salary is $14 an hour if you're like, let's say, a facilities intern, to $86 per hour for a senior human resources associate.
That's a good living. Nothing wrong with that.
No. I mean, I just thought it was very fun that you kind of hang out and experience nature. But some people that work on it checked in. They said a lot of it's picking up garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And rousting people from having sex in the parking lot.
It's the opposite of enjoying nature. You're cleaning up garbage that people left behind
Oh,
and
good
telling
Lord.
teenagers to put their pants on.
Oh, it sounds terrible. It still sounds. I'd like to do it for a little while. Anyway, 312-591-8300. Clash with Kenzie. Call now for your chance at Bonnaroo tickets.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
You can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Clash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin.
Q101.
Well, here we go. A trivia contest for Bonnaroo tickets. The Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. With the Chili Peppers, Cage the Elephant, Interpol, Taking Back Sunday, Milky Chance, tons more. It'll be Thursday, June 13th through Sunday, June 16th. And 4-day tickets, including a camping pass. When's the last time you went camping, Kenzie?
Never.
Me too. Me too. I've never been like really camping. I don't know. Have you even been glamping?
Well, I like the outdoors. I'm not one of those people because I really, really do like hiking and mountain climbing, but I want to go home after.
You want to go to bed.
Yeah, like
In a
that's
bed.
like I even during my baby moon, I hiked every single day, like hour long, like actual mountain climbing hikes, like with grappling and everything. But then I was pretty excited to go to the hotel and take a hot shower.
You went grappling?
No, like grappling, like it's something that happens when you're like rock climbing and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was thinking like UFC,
No,
MMA.
she wasn't sparring with Chuck Liddell.
That's what I
at
thought.
8 months pregnant.
Yeah, when she's grappling, I
Yeah.
thought she was,
Yeah, her and Fedor stepped into the octagon.
I thought, during her maternity leave, she was joined Bellator and was doing fights we don't know about.
I will say, now that I've had the baby, I should really hit up Billy Corgan again because he offered to bring me to the wrestling facility and I couldn't because I was pregnant.
Yeah.
That's why I had to tell him.
Uh-huh.
So now I can go train.
You can go be a professional wrestler now.
I can live my dream.
For people not in the know, Billy Corgan was the first one of our, let's say, insider group that knew Kenzie was pregnant because he wanted her to like do a ladder match or something at the NWA. And she's like, no one knows this, but I am with child, so I cannot be power bombed into the mat right now.
He wanted me to get like chokeholded like to the floor, like with a crab in the bag. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that.
It's like,
It's
what?
not on the recommended list. That and super hot water, they said are a no-go. So
All right, so competing for the Bonnaroo tickets is Lindsay from Chicago. Lindsay, ahoy, tell us something about yourself.
Ahoy. I am an art teacher and I am partially colorblind.
Oh, wow.
oh, how does that work?
So basically I can see colors, but they're kind of a little off sometimes. So I try to work mainly in black and white.
Oh wow.
High emphasis on value.
Because you can never give can you give the critique to your students that they're not using enough color?
Yeah, I can. It's just like with like color blends and stuff. And when I was like in art school, the teacher used mine as an example, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you can see how here there's some like oranges reflected, and here's a little bit of green." And I'm like, sure, yeah, I can see that. And he was like telling the whole class basically that mine wasn't catching up all the colors. I was like, okay, that tracks.
You're like, well, it's black and white, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you moron. Don't you know what's going on here? I can see it. All right, here we go. Well, that's amazing. And here we go. First one to 5 wins. Listen carefully. If Kenzie gets one wrong, you can steal a point, and she can do the same to you. Call heads or tails, Lindsay?
Tails.
Good thing the coin's black and white.
Well, is it?
It's not black and white.
It's like silver and...
Okay, so not black and white.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
amen.
It's not a color. You said tails, Lindsay?
Yeah,
It was tails.
perfect.
All right, question number 1, Lindsay. Which clown was broadcast on WGN from 1961 to 2001?
Bozo.
Bozo the Clown is right. Kenzie, who was the first woman pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean?
Amelia Earhart.
She's been in the news
R.I.P.,
lately.
you
I think
know.
they found her plane.
That's huge.
They
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. It's not. There's
When?
like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, they found her plane.
Yep. After 100 years.
What are the odds, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not making enough news. I'm trying to help out here, get some promotion for it.
I know I haven't seen a single thing on that. That's incredible if they
Yeah.
did.
See that?
How do they know it's hers?
Well, it said A. Earhart on the side, probably.
Well, you're telling me a super fan couldn't have named their plane that later? Like, if I get a little paddle boat, write the word Titanic on the side of it, and it sinks. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, it hasn't been 100% verified that it's her
curious.
plane. I'm just saying they found a plane in the path that's probably hers.
I was curious.
All right.
Back to Lindsay. It's 1-1.
Lindsay, what is the common name for dried prunes? Oh my
Dried
God.
prunes.
I'm sorry.
Dried plums or dried prunes?
What is the common name for dried plums?
Prunes.
There you go.
Are
Good
we
job.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's good.
Kenzie, which member?
Yeah, tell me the answer first.
I know.
No.
Listen, it was a rough day yesterday.
Lead with the answer. I was there too, and I'm doing fine.
Well, you're not asking the questions. It's tougher on this end.
You have them written down with answers, and Case gets them.
Kenzie, you ready?
Sure. Are you?
Which member of the Beatles married Yoko Ono?
Oh, I don't know.
Why don't you guess one of them?
Okay.
3.
Yoko is my favorite Beatle, so I feel like
She broke up the band.
I know. she's a baddie though.
Name a Beatle?
Jerry.
Jerry is not right. Lindsay, do you know?
John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Oh, John, Jerry. I was so close.
Yeah, very close. Back to Lindsay.
That's right. She's ahead 3-1.
The songs Tonight Tonight and Bullet with Butterfly Wings are performed by which band?
Death Cab for Cutie. Oh, that was wrong.
Don't say
Sorry.
it. Don't say it. Kenzie, do you know?
The Smashing
The
Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins. There we go. Back to
Kenzie.
Kenzie. What is the name of Apu's store in The Simpsons?
Didn't they get rid of him?
I think the store has been closed.
The store's closed.
Yes.
Oh, God. It's a convenience store. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. Is it called Mini Mart or something?
It's not called Mini Mart.
Quick Trip?
Nope.
Okay.
Lindsay, do you know?
The Quickie Mart.
The Quick E-Mart.
Oh, Quick Trip was close.
We're pretty close. Pretty close. They canceled that. They canceled him and that store. I guess it's not in anymore.
There's a documentary that I would recommend people watch about the history of Apu and how it's actually has a very sad background.
Oh, why is everything
It's kind of racist.
I mean,
Is that what it's about?
Yeah, it's kind of about how it's
Okay.
super racist.
oh God, no, we can't just have anything just keep going.
No, you have a bunch of stuff. You just don't have Apu anymore.
Well, but everything's gonna get. There's a documentary
You
about
have about
everything now.
47 seasons with him, so if you miss him.
I guess I do miss. It was a great character.
He's a salt of the earth guy. 4-2. It's back to Lindsay. She can win Bonnaroo tickets with the correct answer.
Lindsay, what are the first names of the explorers Lewis and Clark?
That's a great question.
It is
Um,
3. Just give a couple names. out here.
Russell and Frederick.
Russell and Frederick is right. No, it's not. Sorry.
You're telling me Lewis and Clark are not their first names?
They're not. It's not. It's their last ones.
It's giving first name energy. I never once imagined that those were their last names.
Those are the last ones. What do you think their first names are, Kenzie? Just take a guess.
John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Exactly right. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark.
There's a reason no one knows that.
You're right, Lindsay. You are absolutely right.
I thought Lewis and Clark were their names
Well,
the whole time.
well, that's the thing, because if you said Meriwether and William did this whole thing, that wouldn't have a ring to it. Lewis and Clark has a nice ring to it. It's got pizzazz.
And Meriwether's not a name that really passed down generations.
No, there can't be one Meriwether listening right now.
No, there can't be. It's 4-2, though. It's back to Kenzie.
Kenzie, which superheroes' enemies include the Joker, the Penguin, and the Riddler?
Batman.
Batman is right. 3-4.
4-3. Lindsay can win with the correct answer.
Lindsay, which bird lays the largest eggs?
The ostrich.
Ostrich is right. And Lindsay, you're going to Bonnaroo.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I've wanted to go since Billy Joel was there and never made it.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Redemption, girl. Go get it.
4-day passes and the camping pass from our great friends at Bonnaroo, and of course from Brian and Kenzie here on Q101.
Thank you.
Clash with Kenzie. The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and Piece of Garbage Madness has continued on. It's our brackets of things that have been garbage for the last year, and only in that last year range alone. And you guys nominated 64 people, 64 teams, if you will, things, people, and we're now in the Suck 16. We're moving on in there. So we've gotten in the second round now. It seems like, we're a little bit behind the real basketball tournament, but it's all going to balance out because we do it every day. There's matchups every day on social, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And yesterday, a couple matchups in the first ones in the Italian Beef region, the second round. Tiffany Henyard went against the lady at the White Sox game who had a gun in her fat rolls, allegedly, and the gun went off. And Tiffany Henyard wins that match again to advance to the Suck 16. She was the number
That
one.
checks out.
It does. People think she's unbeatable, just like UConn maybe. She's the number one overall seed. And there's even more news about her today. We'll get to a
I
little
know. I
later.
was like, she certainly hasn't stopped putting in effort to get the votes.
She literally still has things going on where she vetoed the own investigation her city wants to do about her.
Which I didn't know you could do. I didn't know you could veto
power.
an investigation.
It's pretty good.
Well, she was like, we have no funding left, so I can't fund that.
Sorry. The trip to the Four Seasons in Vegas, I cannot.
Things are pretty tight after Vegas. You guys should have brought this up earlier.
You
I
guys,
wish I had the budget for it.
you guys asked me to clamp down on these trips. Well, I did. We can't investigate myself.
Yeah, there we go. See, I'm trying to save money.
Everybody's still coming after me. And then also the other match yesterday was the Stadium Drama versus the Riot Fest Mexican Independence Day traffic. Stadium Drama won that match, a close one. But because they feel that traffic was only for a couple days and the Stadium Drama has been going on for 2 years, that's where we're at. So the matchup today going on in moments, I'll put it up here on our social, will be a number 11 seed. And I didn't know how to word this differently because it just becomes in all forms of going to concerts or events, is ticket scalpers.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, every way you're just getting raked over the coals when trying to go somewhere. But there's people buying up all the lots of tickets on the resale market. It still sucks. There's not people hanging out front of stadiums anymore, which those were kind of good old days of seeing
I miss the signs.
Yeah, there were good
fun.
signs.
Yeah, a lot of personality came through.
Did you see any? There's still people, though, before Cubs games that will do that, right? They'll kind of hang
I
out
see it
front.
more for parking. I don't see it for tickets anymore.
Yeah.
I see it for parking, which, you know what happened to me at Riot Fest is I realized people were selling spots that weren't theirs.
Right.
So they just hang out.
That's how I parked at Riot Fest, actually, was somebody gave me their neighborhood placard and were like, hey, go nuts.
There's people that stand in areas like, you can park here $50, and you can tell they don't even know where they are. Like, this is not there. And I go, do you guys like give out receipts or anything? They're like, nope. I'm like, I'm gonna keep it going probably.
They were actually gone from the area by the time it's over, so they just got that
Yeah,
money.
and so is your car because you're not supposed to be there.
So Ticket Scalpers is taking on something interesting here. There's a 14 seed, 2 high seeds advanced here. The Highland Park Poverty Simulator.
One of my favorites.
Oh.
Yeah. Which we got that canceled, by the way. It was supposed to happen, which was people of Highland Park going to, was it the country club?
Ruined my Saturday.
Yeah. They were supposed to be going to the country club up there, right?
I believe so.
And then try to understand what it's like to be poor.
Yeah, if you can imagine that thought process.
Yeah.
They put on goggles and went through a whole virtual reality experience. This was what it was at the country club.
The virtual reality simulator took you through the line at Jewel and your card getting rejected for your food.
A late notice on your electric bill shows up in your mailbox.
Oh, what a fascinating.
You start to feel chilly because your heat's off, things like that.
We talked about that. This is like about 7-8 months
It
ago.
was June.
Yeah.
It was the summer months. They were like, what if we pretended to be poor for an afternoon?
Yeah. And then talking about it once on this show, got all you guys on the air, and then they canceled it.
That's true. That was some of the most fervor our text line has ever had. Not at us, because we were obviously shouting it down and saying this is wrong, but it was like being a part of a grassroots movement. It was really kind of beautiful the way people came together.
It was just unbelievable that they literally had to cancel it because of the backlash. And they were mad about it. So they canceled because of backlash, not with an apology. They were like, we were trying to do something good here.
Yeah.
They didn't apologize. They were like, well, fine. Well, we're not going to have it, but this is your loss.
Fine. No one up here is going to know what it's like to be poor now. Are you guys happy? Jeez.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And we have about 8 minutes away from that chance to get to the Chili Peppers anywhere you want to see them. Anywhere your mind takes you. Interesting news yesterday came out from a Google lawsuit. There always seems to be one of the lawsuits to Facebook, to Twitter, to Google, and it always involves privacy in some form. And then it just kind of goes away. And because they have acres of cash, they pay it out. And before you know it, you're still using Google, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And I don't know. I just kind of at a point now where I think all my privacy is gone. I don't know how everybody feels out there about when you just get on social or get on the internet. But you like to have this kind of concept in your head that, well, maybe my social security number, my bank accounts aren't out there for everybody. You know? I don't know, Kenzie, how you feel about that in the privacy world of like, is anything private? Do you even care anymore because it's just too hard to stop
I
it?
also feel like, good luck. You want to steal my identity? Like, have fun.
You want my debt?
Yeah, like, and hopefully you do better than I did with my identity. Have a hoot.
Well, Google agreed to delete, quote, incognito mode when you're browsing on Chrome. So I never even used this feature. I remember hearing about it, but I never used it.
What does it do?
So allegedly, it was something that basically stopped them from taking your tracking what you're doing on Chrome. So whatever you're doing on Chrome, like you're searching the internet, whatever you do, it stopped them from tracking you and collecting your data on what you track.
So why would they get rid of that?
Well, because the lawsuit, so people that use it was a $5 billion lawsuit saying this was misleading, because saying that Google was actually still really gathering a lot of your information. Now, the lawsuit got thrown out. So Google said, yay, we won this lawsuit. We're not paying $5 billion to anybody. However, they've said we're now getting rid of incognito mode and we'll stop. If we have any data that you think we have, we'll just go ahead and throw it out.
So they're getting rid of incognito mode altogether.
Yes.
Ooh.
Why do you use it?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you use it to look up like porn sites, right?
I do. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's why incognito mode was invented.
So that way, when you go to type in and something starts with the word P,
Yes.
it doesn't automatically fill in Pornhub in front of your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the exact scenario that I'm in right now.
Now, I'm not saying or telling you what to do, but you can clear your browsing history every time you go to a porn site. Afterward, it does the same thing.
Also suspicious, because if I see somebody with a cleared browsing history that I'm with, I know also what he was doing.
This is going to sound odd. I like some browsing history to be there.
Oh, I agree.
I don't want to get rid of the entire thing.
You want some, but not the disgusting.
Yeah, the disgusting.
Or whatever somebody might judge you on. We'll just say it that way.
Which would be
Case is
disgusting.
going to look up Oreos, where can I buy some for my girlfriend? And OnlyFans fills in and she just hits him in the face.
Damn it. Busted again. So, since you
I use the private browsing mode on Safari, so same thing, because this was on my phone already.
So, that means when you go to Safari, let's say, and you put P in, does Pornhub come up or not?
It wouldn't anyways. So no. But no, I kept it because my husband wanted me to use DuckDuckGo. Have you heard of this?
Oh, I've heard of that's old school.
No, what is this?
You never heard of that, Kate?
This is like supposed to be an actual secure browsing site. I'm like, I'm not downloading DuckDuckGo and using it, but I go, I'll switch to private browsing. It was like my
compromise.
Well, yeah, like white flag, like sure, I'll do this. And I'm like, what are you worried about being taken? You're even worried about my stuff, like leaking into your stuff. Like, what's gonna happen? That we're gonna get more like Target advertising. Like, that's it.
Also, can you really trust a company called DuckDuckGo?
No, you can't.
But you know what? They have been. I've heard of them, Kenzie, and they are around. So he uses that, but you don't use it?
Yeah, he uses it because like nothing's traceable, and like he watched some show where now he's like nervous about like they're getting our information. I'm like, what information?
Well, I mean, that's
I just Googled how many calories are in an avocado. Like, okay.
Listen, I would be tracking you doing that all day.
They could swing an election if the Russians get a hold of that.
Oh, my
That's the
God.
only thing they have.
I am useless. I promise they're receiving my information, and it's not helping at all in any of their goals.
I just don't feel like you can stop any of this because even if they say they're going to dump the data, do you believe that Google's dumping your data that they already collected?
I'll tell you what, Brian,
no.
it's too late. You've already posted a dance on TikTok. They have everything they need from you.
God, I can't get rid of it. It's going to be there forever and ever.
gone.
It's how.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.